Now, the 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence starts tomorrow. And this happens every year. What do you hope people take away from this? I know, are you quite involved in the 16 days? What do you hope that people take away from this? Because I feel like it happens each year, and the 16 days are there, and they come and they go, and then it's the messages that come across are almost forgotten.
Yeah, there's been a big move for a very long time to have a plan for 365 days of activism. Look, I think 16 days it feels very long when you're involved in activism, so the idea of a whole year, it seems a bit crazy. But it's a hard time because it's so important, because it's the only time of year that we actually get to hear about this stuff, about where our services made available, what can I access, what's going wrong, what's going right, what my rights are. So I think the main important thing for people to take away from the 16 days is information. There's a lot of information out there, and there are people producing articles specifically for this, so it's a time for people to go out and learn stuff, especially because you might be in a safe relationship now, but you have no idea if a friend might need advice, and then you have it at your fingertips, or you might need advice in the future. So I think another thing that I would love for people to take away is just learning about their own rights, and to take it as an opportunity to, even in safe relationships, to speak with your partner, to say, this is the 16 days of activism. How do you feel about this? What do you feel about women's rights? And to start those discussions happening in the home and at your social engagements, and not necessarily as like, here comes Jen, she's the party pooper, now we have to talk about sexual violence again. But it is an important part of most women in South Africa's lives. And so to talk about it as, how does this constant feeling of insecurity and the threats of violence mean that you feel when you go to work? How does it mean when you go into the bedroom? I recently had an awful experience of seeing an incident of domestic violence on the road that I lived on. I had a very bad experience with the police, a really great relationship with my partner, but then that stuff stays in your head even when you're talking about your own life. So to make sure that you are talking about things that are upsetting you, to make sure that you are accessing help when you can, and to never ever doubt the power of counselling and talking to someone else about it, because sometimes as a woman, maybe nothing's happened to you, but you just feel this sense of, I often describe it as a pressure on your chest, literally the weight of the inequality that we live in. And that can feel frustrating because nothing is there to crystallize those feelings around, but going to talk to somebody about it is really helpful, because they are a woman too, and they know that feeling. It's something that I don't think men can ever understand unless you live in a climate that's so violent like ours. So don't ever be afraid to ask for help. I think there are women in some cultures here in South Africa who feel like they can't ask for help, or they can't seek counselling, and they feel like they need to internalize it. So I'm not a big fan of bottling things up, which some people in my life might laugh at, but I think even if you're not talking to a professional, talk with your women friends. Just share that feeling so that you know that you're not alone. It's critical going through any difficult situation, living in South Africa as a woman, where I know I'm going to walk out of this building and it's likely that someone's going to harass me on the street. To go back and talk to people and feel that sense of injustice together, and know that you're not alone, is really, really important. If you've had an experience of violence, then I highly recommend going for counselling, because it's one experience in your life. Whilst it can be really life-changing and traumatic and powerful, it doesn't have to be the thing that defines you. So to go out and get help is really, really important and empowering. It's you taking your power back. So I think that's really valuable.
Great. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.